Howdy do YouTube, welcome back to the channel. While you in here, hit that like, comment, subscribe, notification bell so you can be notified every time Hertakes uploads a new video. Before we jump into this reaction, I just want to take the time to thank everybody for the love that I received from my Jordan mixtape reaction. All the comments, I enjoyed talking to a lot of you in the comments. It was some really nice engagement, and I'm here for it all. I probably had about 30 to 50 comments requesting me to react to this video, so it must be a banger. Let's jump into it and see what's up with it. When you're good at something, you'll tell everyone. When you're great at something, they'll tell you. Walter Payton. I think somebody put that in my comments. Yeah. LeBron told everybody when he beat them Warriors, that's when he knew he was the GOAT. I cringed when he said that, not gonna lie. I cringed. I know my son is loving this, man. I got him on the Jordan, and then I jumped ship to LeBron. And he young, right? My son's young. And he's been fighting me for years, like, Mom! Shout out to you, Ryan. I love you, son. He didn't waver. He did not waver from Jordan. Jordan versus LeBron, the definitive GOAT analysis. That's what we need.
Jordan versus LeBron.
Let me say this real quick. A lot of comments was saying it's not subjective and blah, blah, right? I know, and I've always known, even when I was supporting LeBron, I've always known that Jordan statistically was better. I always knew that, 6-0 in the finals, more playoff wins. The competition was, I always knew that. But I say subjective because during that time when I was pumping up LeBron, I've come to the realization that it's because that's who I liked at that time. And I think 90% of the people, even the ones that's in my comments, they're basing their opinion on who they like. Now, a good 10% of you, because I could tell by, what you typed and everything, you came with the data, you came with the receipts. I could tell a lot of you knew what you were talking about, and you were speaking from an analytic and statistics standpoint. I could tell that. But I just feel like the masses, they're going by what they feel. So that's why I say subjective. I just wanted to give that explanation because I saw that question probably a lot more. And there was one other question I saw even more than anything, and I'm going to address that somewhere throughout the video.
LeBron versus Jordan. It's a debate that has captured the public's attention for the last several years, especially after this moment in 2016, when LeBron James beat the Golden State Warriors to win the third championship of his career. In LeBron's own words,
that one right there made me the greatest player.
Cringe.
That's what I felt.
Cringe.
That one right there made you the greatest player of all time.
Boy, please.
Is everything since that moment?
When he said it, I was like, no.
Or is LeBron destined to finish his career in Michael Jordan's shadow?
See, he became.
We've all heard the arguments.
He wanted to be like Mike for real.
He's stronger. He's faster. He's more durable.
And from Jordan's supporters.
Michael Jordan was merely.
Oh, you could left him out the video.
MVPs in the finals.
But the GOAT debate isn't as simple as the pundits make it seem. There are a number of
Skip
determining the greatest basketball player of all time. In fact, I would say there are 5 things that really matter when determining the GOAT of any sport. These criteria are, in no particular order, accomplishments, longevity, winning, statistics, and what we'll refer to in this video as the eye test. And to be the GOAT, you don't need to be the best in any specific category, but you need to be pretty good across the board. So simply winning 7 championships, like Robert Horry did, isn't enough to get you into the conversation.
Cut those captions off in case it was bothering somebody.
When we're finished with this video, it'll be plainly obvious that one guy comes out on top. But before we get started, I want to clarify that this is not a comparison of legacies. It's about who was the better basketball player. If we were talking about legacies, Jordan's is nearly untouchable. Not only did he lead basketball to global popularity, he helped transform Nike into an empire, changed the way players played, and how they dressed.
Yeah.
And he even made it cool for guys to be bald.
What about them
While those
shoes?
things certainly
Them
contribute
J's.
to Jay's iconic status, they don't make him a better player on the court. So let's evaluate the criteria that matter, and we'll start with individual accomplishments. Take a look. Jordan had more regular season MVPs, twice as many finals MVPs, 9 more scoring titles, and several more selections to the NBA's all-defensive team, including once being named Defensive Player of the Year.
Bro, they got one scoring title. Dang.
That's largely due to his having played more seasons. In fact, when taking into account retirements and major injuries, Jordan essentially played 13 seasons compared to 17 seasons for LeBron, making Jordan's significant lead in accomplishments.
Yeah, but Jordan
all more
came.
impressive.
Bron came straight out of high school, so here's gonna be more.
Which saw him twice named All-American and once awarded College Player of the Year, at a time when the country's best players actually went to college. So regardless of whether
I do
you're
think
a
Bron
LeBron
should have
fan
went to
or a
college.
MJ fan, you have to give the accomplishments checkmark to Jordan. The second criteria in our GOAT analysis is longevity. And this one is also a no-brainer, but this time in favor of LeBron. Not only has LeBron played more seasons in the league, but he's had a longer peak than Jordan. Jordan's peak lasted about 10 years, whereas LeBron's peak has lasted 16 years and is still going. And he's been incredibly durable during that time, missing significant time to injury only in 2019.
He got that longevity.
LeBron has been much more durable.
Can't argue that.
Has been a bit overblown. Consider that Jordan played in at least 80 regular season games 11 times in his career, including all 82 games an incredible 9 times. Compare that to
When he
LeBron,
was 40.
who played in at least 80 regular season games just twice, and in all 82 games just once. So both LeBron and Jordan get high marks for their durability. But durability aside, the bottom line is that LeBron has sustained his level of excellence for a much longer period of time than Jordan, which puts the longevity checkmark squarely in LeBron's corner.
Okay, we won one.
That brings us to the third GOAT criteria, winning.
Ah, we know who got this.
Jordan won 6 championships.
6
LeBron
and
has
0.
won 3. Jordan is 6-0 in the NBA Finals. LeBron is 3-6. Yes, LeBron has made the finals.
So this is
9
old.
times compared to
So
only
now
6
he's 4 and
times for
6.
Jordan. But let's not pretend that making the finals is the same thing, or even close to the same thing, as winning a title. Take a prime example from another sport, the Buffalo Bills.
Ah, shout out to my family in Buffalo. What's up?
In 4 consecutive Super Bowls. But is there a single player or fan of that team that wouldn't trade all 4 of those appearances for just one Super Bowl win? Frankly,
Obviously, they would, right? He's right. However, think about the teams that didn't make it to the Super Bowl. I guarantee you they would rather, especially the 2 teams that lost their division games, championships. I guarantee you they would rather have been where the Buffalo Bills was than where they were. I'm just saying. And that's why I do give LeBron some credit for his losses. I know the Jordan supporters, and that's why I say it's subjective, because they're going by feelings, but you got to think about the body of work that it took for that man to get to 10 finals. That's just my opinion.
talk to any fan whose team lost the season's final game and ask them how they felt afterward. Almost universally, their feelings are of sadness, anger, and disappointment. And that's just the fans. For players, those feelings are only magnified. Listen to Charles Barkley talk about losing in the NBA Finals.
And I was just in shock when it was over, because I was frustrated because I couldn't wheel my team past Michael and the Bulls. And first of all, I don't think I've ever gotten over it, number one. But that was traumatic, and it's painful.
So we can
Okay, I get it, Charles. However, had you lost the Western Conference Finals, you would have beat yourself up even the more. You really would have. You would have beat yourself up even the more. And that's all I'm saying.
can all stop with this false equivalence between winning the championship and finishing runner-up. In the words of Herm Edwards,
you play to win the game.
Mm-hmm. That counts the conference finals as well.
Hello? You play to win the game.
Yeah. I get
back
it.
to Jordan and LeBron. As mentioned, on basketball's biggest stage, the NBA Finals, Jordan was 6-0. LeBron was 3-6. Show how lopsided.
No, 4 and
their
6.
records
4 and
really are.
6.
In terms of individual finals games, Jordan was 24-11. LeBron is 18-31.
Ooh, that's
And
crucial.
because in 4 of his 6 finals losses, LeBron's team hasn't.
Then he
even
get
been
mad at the
competitive.
teammate. Look at him.
Twice
I think that when he went and broke his hand, ain't it?
He lost 4
They
games to
laughing
1.
at him.
That includes being on the wrong side of the
That
two most
Kawhi, ooh,
lopsided
Kawhi put it
finals by
on
margin
him,
of
boy.
loss in NBA history. Of course, LeBron
Kawhi
fans
put
will
it
tell you that
on
the
him.
only reason for LeBron's poor finals
So did
record
Durant.
is that his competition was so tough. Ironically, some of these same fans criticized Jordan for losing early in his career to a Celtics team stacked with 5 Hall of Famers, and they conveniently gloss over the fact that LeBron reached the finals so many times in part because the competition in his own conference was so weak.
That's true.
During the vast majority of his career, LeBron played in what many dubbed the Leastern Conference
Sure did.
because the East was so much weaker than the West. On the other
LeBron
hand, during
toes.
Jordan's playing days, the East was generally considered the stronger conference.
Boy, them boys. Ooh, the
Jordan had to
East
battle
was
through hard-fought
stacked.
rivalries
You
against
hear me?
the Bad Boy
They was
Pistons,
stacked.
Patrick Ewing's Knicks, the Shaq Penny-led Magic, and Reggie Miller's Pacers. That said, if you want to blame LeBron's failure in the finals on the level of his competition, I won't argue with you. But let's also not blow it out of proportion. If you look at the average number of wins of their finals opponents, you'll see that LeBron's finals opponents averaged 60.8 wins per season, whereas Jordan's finals opponents averaged 61.2 wins per season. So as it turns out, both players face stiff competition in the finals. But a big reason we don't hold the 93 Suns, the 96 Sonics, or the 98 Jazz
Hey, they were
in the same
cold,
regard as
too.
some of LeBron's finals opponents is because, unlike LeBron's adversaries, Jordan's opponents never actually won the Larry O'Brien
I
Trophy.
knew he was going to
Which goes
say
to my
that.
original point, that the difference between winning the title and finishing runner-up is huge.
He got me there. Danger, you got me there. That's, you got me. Because sometimes I wonder, I'm sitting here wondering, like, the people that I have debated with over the years when I switched, y'all didn't watch this? I don't know how old this video is. It's 5 years old, so I've had debates. Y'all didn't watch this? Because this dude is cooking.
The reason those teams never won the title? This
I knew you were gonna say it.
I'm not trying to say that.
Oh,
Jordan's
he's
opponents
cooking.
versus the Warriors teams that LeBron
He
faced 4
cooking.
times in the finals. The truth is that Jordan never played a juggernaut quite like that. But there's a pretty good reason for that.
Why? Tell us why.
Jordan's Bulls were the juggernaut.
This dude is cooking. He cooking.
They
They were the juggernaut.
every year. And
Oh,
as the
he
Warriors
cooking.
showed us, that's not an easy place to be.
He
As
cooking.
great as the Warriors were, they were never able to string together 3 consecutive championships.
Mm,
Jordan's Bulls did it twice. So what's the greater achievement? Beating the juggernaut or
Being the juggernaut. Oh, he
To be more
cooking.
specific, beating the juggernaut 1 time out of the 4 times you faced them, or being year after year after year, and then doing it again.
Oh, this dude
year
cooking.
After year
Let's eat.
After year.
He
There's no
cooking.
doubt that LeBron's victory over the 73-win Warriors was the highlight of his career. But it's not the first time that an underdog.
Oh yeah, he should have won that
There
one.
actually have been much bigger underdogs who.
Yeah, Brian, you dropped the ball right
How
there.
many times have we seen a player lead his
He
team
dropped
to
the ball
6
a lot.
championships in 8 years? Prior to Jordan's Bulls, only Bill Russell's Celtics ever accomplished that feat in the NBA when they incredibly won 11 championships in 13 seasons. However, back then, there was an average of less than 10 teams in the league and only a couple rounds of playoffs, so it was considerably easier to win a title. And no player, not even Bill Russell, ever had a run of winning 25 of 26 playoff series as Michael Jordan did. And Michael's pattern of winning goes beyond the NBA. Let's not forget that Jordan has never won anything but gold in the Olympics. He also earned an NCAA
LeBron's.
championship, in which he hit the first of 2 iconic championship-winning shots in his career. All that is to say, when it comes to winning, the checkmark clearly goes to Jordan.
Yeah.
On to the 4th GOAT criteria, statistics. This one is a bit more complicated. I mean, how do you statistically evaluate 2 players who played in different eras under different rules at different positions? One way of doing it is
He
to simply
cooking.
look at the 8
Because
traditional
he considering everything.
points, assists, rebounds, steals, blocks, field goal percentage, free throw percentage, and turnovers. And we'll focus on per game stats rather than cumulative stats, since cumulative stats such as total career points and total career assists really speak to longevity, which is already a top category of the GOAT analysis. Per game stats, on the other hand, is more of an apples to apples comparison.
Okay,
So
tell us
looking
about
at
it.
traditional stats, we see that Jordan leads LeBron in 5 of them: points per game, steals per game, blocks per game, free throw percentage, and fewer turnovers. LeBron leads in the other 3: assists per game, rebounds per game, and field goal percentage. But that's a pretty simplistic way of looking at statistics. What if we instead turn to analytics? Probably the most well-known analytics stat is player efficiency rating, or PER for short.
PER. Tell us about that PER.
Respected basketball analyst John Hollinger to give an overall rating to a player's performance based on traditional stats like the ones we just mentioned. Jordan has led the league in PER 7 times. LeBron 6 times. Jordan has finished top 3 in PER.
He's right there in
10
all these
times.
categories.
LeBron 9 times.
Right there with
In
him.
fact, Jordan
Only
has the highest career
third
PER
place
in both
in
the regular
playoffs.
season and the playoffs.
For those of you that say he's
Another
not in
popular
even in the
analytics
top
stat is
10,
win
he's
shares.
close.
Jordan has led the league in win shares 8 times. LeBron 5 times. Jordan has finished top 3 in win shares.
He is
11
close.
times. LeBron 6 times. And when it comes to win shares per 48
I think he's
minutes,
number 2.
Jordan has the highest career rating in both the regular season and the
Jordan
playoffs.
number 1, Bron number
What
2.
about box plus minus? Until recently, LeBron was actually ahead of Jordan in career box plus minus. But after the 2017 season,
Aight.
gave Russell Westbrook the greatest single-season box plus minus.
If
in
he's
history
ahead
by
and
a
Jordan
wide
ain't
margin.
playing,
The architect of box plus minus realized that the stat was fundamentally flawed, so he made some changes to improve its formula. As a
oh,
result, Michael Jordan now has the highest career box plus minus in both the regular season and the playoffs. And lastly, what about value over
Now-
replacement player, which on its face seems to favor LeBron?
now Jordan's definitely the GOAT. He's the GOAT. But you know, my mind of defending Bron kicking in right now. If that had been the other way around, and they changed it, there's a flaw, and they changed it to benefit Bron, what would the narrative be?
On James. Well, value over replacement player is a cumulative stat, and as previously noted, cumulative stats speak more to longevity than they do game-to-game dominance. That said, according to value over replacement player, Jordan owns 6 of the 9 greatest individual seasons ever played. And on a per-game basis, MJ's career rating in value over replacement player is the highest of all time in both the regular season and the playoffs.
He's clearly the
Are you
GOAT.
noticing a theme
He's
here?
clearly the
Not
GOAT.
only does Jordan beat LeBron in every ratable
Look at
analytic
that.
stat,
That reverse
he
lay.
consistently ranks as the best ever across the board.
Oh, wow.
Before we move on from analytics, I want to mention a lesser-known stat called
He
game
preaching.
score, another
Preach,
brainchild of
Danger.
LeBron.
Preach.
Game score measures a player's performance in a single game, so it won't tell us who's had the better career.
Behind
but
the
it
back.
does provide insight into
Ooh,
who's had the greatest
sidestep
games.
into the rack.
We only have game score stats since 1983.
Ooh,
so
Lord
you won't see
mercy.
any mentions of Wilt Chamberlain here. That said, of the 100 highest game scores
He
ever
never
recorded,
shy away from contact.
incredibly, 19 of them belong to Michael Jordan. In other words, nearly 1 out of every 5 of the best single-game performances over the last 4 decades has been by MJ. That includes the highest game score of all time for Jordan's 69.18 rebound masterpiece. Comparatively, LeBron has had only 3 of the top 100 game scores. When discussing the GOAT, Nick Wright is fond of asking this question.
The aliens come down.
The
You have
aliens.
One game to save humanity. Who's your first pick in the
He
history
called him
of
an
the world?
alien.
Well, Nick,
The
I think we have our
bow-legged
answer.
Jordan. Who glazed
Now that I've
Bron the
finished drowning
most?
you in numbers,
Nick Wright
let's be
or
real.
Shannon Sharp?
Hardly anyone watching this video knows how to calculate PER, win shares, box plus minus, value over replacement.
bow-legged
player, or game
Jordan.
score. And why should you? This is basketball, not Goodwill Hunting. So let's go back to the traditional stats that we all know and understand. But this time, let's add context to them. What
Give
do
us
I
a
mean
little
by
context, Danger.
Well, some positions are simply better than others at racking up certain stats.
True. Center.
Let's take rebounding as an example. In a vacuum, if we simply
Centers.
compare the number of rebounds per
That's why
game
so many
for Brook
centers are-
Lopez
are
and Jason
good.
Kidd, we might think that Lopez was the better rebounder. The truth is, relative to their positions, Lopez is statistically one of the worst rebounding centers in NBA history, whereas Kidd is statistically one of the best rebounding guards in NBA history. But even a poor rebounding center can grab more rebounds than a great rebounding guard
True.
solely by
They're
virtue
right
of their
there.
roles on the court.
Yeah.
So it makes sense that, to understand the context of a player's stats, we should compare them to the respective positions that they played.
What you talking about, Danger?
When comparing LeBron James to the other small
Talk to me.
forwards who have played at least 500 NBA games, this is where he ranks.
I don't know that I agree with this because Bron does not consistently play small forward. So I don't know if I'm with you on this one, Danger. But I'm gonna hear you out.
Overall, that's pretty impressive. Now let's see how Jordan compares to all shooting guards who have played.
See, you compare him to what he more consistently plays.
As good as LeBron is compared to other small forwards, Jordan is on another level when compared to other
I ain't
shooting
with
guards.
this one.
He's darn near the top of every major statistical category, and there isn't a single category where LeBron is better than MJ relative to his position, other than assists. So to sum up statistics, whether
So we
comparing
punish
traditional
Bron for
stats
not
or
sticking to his
analytics,
position.
and especially when judging these players
Okay.
in the context of the positions they played, Jordan has a noticeable edge over LeBron. As such, we have to give the check mark to Jordan. And that takes us to the last category in our GOAT analysis, the eye test.
Eye test,
And to
okay.
be clear, by eye test, I don't mean which of these
Bully
players is bigger,
Bron.
faster, or jumps higher. None of
Look at
is
that
relevant
tongue
unless we're
out,
having a track and
Jordan.
field competition. And frankly, if physical measurables mattered, then George Murison
Antics,
would be in
Bron.
the GOAT conversation. No, what I mean by the eye test is, if you sat an average basketball fan in front of a TV to watch a player in action, what would he notice that the player is and is not great at? Thankfully, I happen to be an average basketball fan, and I've had
Which
the
one
privilege
would-
of watching both LeBron and Jordan
That was
during their
a
playing days.
Easter egg. He was
So
in that
unlike a lot
crowd
of my
somewhere.
fellow
You was in that
YouTubers,
crowd,
I
huh,
haven't really
Danger?
relied on highlight videos. Here's what my eyes told me when I saw Michael Jordan play.
All right, what you
particularly
see?
during his playing days with the Chicago Bulls. He
Flu
was the
game?
best offensive player in
Look
the
at
game.
Dennis Rodman.
He was arguably the best defensive player in the game. He had the best mid-range game. He was the best finisher at the rim. He had the best post-up game, which is incredible considering most players who dominated the post were big men.
Yeah, they were big men.
He was widely considered the most clutch player in the game. He
Clutch.
was regarded by opponents as the fiercest competitor on the court.
Yeah, he
was
didn't back
regarded by
down at
teammates As
all.
the hardest worker in practice. And when all was said and done, amongst the other stars of his generation, he was the greatest winner.
Yes.
Now, when you're playing against the elite of the elite,
Somebody reminded me in the comments about Jordan when he was young. I want to say it was the year before he actually got into the league. He played with a lot of college players, and I may be getting some of this wrong. I don't know. I don't remember, but when I read the comment, I do remember. He played at the All-Star game to get them ready for the Olympics because, you know, back then, college players went to the Olympics, and we used to dominate. Our college players did. And so he played with them, you know, to get them ready for the Olympics against Magic, Bird, Isaiah Thomas, Clyde the Glide, all the top players. Played 8 games and won them. 8 games, Jordan leading college players against pro players. And I guarantee you they were playing, they came at him, right? And think about that, because I always give LeBron credit for his the scrutiny and the weight that he had to carry on his shoulders. I always give him credit for that. But I forget about the weight that Jordan carried as well. You come into the league that cocky and then you beat them in the All-Star games, you know, those exhibition games, practicing or whatever, getting ready. But I guarantee you they went, especially after he won the first couple of games, they start thinking about, we going to get him, we going to get him. They didn't get him. So shout out to Jordan as well for being mentally tough, which I knew was mentally tough anyway. But I just thought about when I saw them with those USA jerseys on.
athletes of the world, to be the best at any one of those things is pretty remarkable. But to be the best at all of them, I tell you, it's impossible, but for the fact that we saw Michael Jordan do it. And when it comes to the GOAT debate, that's the biggest hurdle facing LeBron. He's basically being compared to a guy who was great at everything and practically had no weaknesses. Seriously, judging by the eye test, what's the worst thing we could say about Michael Jordan?
Ooh, he just split my Hawks all
Probably
up.
that he wasn't a very good three-point shooter. Jordan shot 33%.
They
from
weren't
beyond
shooting
the
them
arc
like
in an
that
era
back
when the
then.
average player also shot 33%.
He was average,
So
so
when it came to three-point shooting, he wasn't good, he wasn't bad, he was just average. But remember that Michael played in an age when the three-point shot wasn't a big
yeah, they weren't shooting them like
During
that.
Jordan's years, teams averaged only 9.5 three-point attempts per game, and Michael himself attempted less than 2 threes per game. And if being an average three-point shooter is a weakness of Michael's game, well, then we also have to call it a weakness of
Oh
LeBron's
my
game.
God.
The difference is
Cause they
that LeBron
shooting them
plays in an
now.
era where the three-point shot is a huge part of the game.
They shooting them now,
During the
bro.
years
What's
in
your
which LeBron
excuse?
played, teams attempted on average
Man, being a
over
LeBron
21
fan, sometimes he
threes per
throw
game.
up that ball. I be like,
LeBron himself averaged
no.
4.3 three-point attempts per game.
He drive me
or 2.5
crazy
times
jacking
as
up
many as
threes.
Jordan. Despite the increased emphasis on threes, LeBron's career shooting percentage from beyond the arc is only a hair better than Jordan at 34%. And it's actually slightly
Dang.
below his peers, who averaged 35%.
Exactly. You
from
supposed to work on your craft,
but to
bro.
reiterate, being an average three-point shooter was by far the worst part of MJ's game. For LeBron,
Look at him.
It's not even
He poured
close.
all out there.
LeBron, in fact, has 4 major weaknesses as a
Yeah.
basketball player.
Flop.
Each of which is readily apparent to anyone who has actually watched him play.
Oh, that
First,
hurt.
he's not a good free throw shooter. For his career, LeBron has shot around 73.5% from the free throw line, which is pretty poor for a player who handles the ball as much as he does.
So we got
In
shooting,
fact,
free
many analysts
throws.
point out that at the end of games, LeBron shies away from driving to the basket because he's afraid of being sent to the line. I don't know whether that's true, but what I do know is that the odds of LeBron hitting 2 consecutive free throws is
Slim to none.
statistically not much better than a coin flip. Jordan, on the other hand, shot a solid 80.
He said, "This one for you, baby." He closed his eye,
during his
talking
career.
junk.
And MJ
He don't
never
shy-
shied away from
no, he don't shy away
contact
from
in
it.
Games.
He want that
LeBron's
and
second
one.
weakness is that he's an inconsistent defender. Sure.
Three,
he's had some years where
defense.
He was elite defensively, which is evidenced by
He
his
said he got
numerous
5
selections to the
flaws.
NBA's all-defensive team. But he's also had several years where he's practically been a
Look
liability.
at him
on the
just
defensive
standing there
end.
looking.
Compare that to MJ, who during his Bulls days was a consistently
get outta
elite
here.
defender.
And he
In
got
fact, Jordan is
the
the only player to
recovered
rank in
the
top
ball.
5 amongst all guards in both steals per game and blocks per game for his career.
Mm.
Additionally, Michael led his position in defensive win shares practically every year that he played for the Bulls. An incredible
Oh, he gonna block
10
that.
times.
He
LeBron,
swatted it right
has
on
led
up
his
out of
position in
there.
Defensive win shares on just 4 occasions, and in 5 of his last
Look at
7
look at
seasons,
Bron.
he
Look at Bron
managed
just
to crack the
lost.
top 10
He ain't
of his
going after
position
him.
in defensive win shares.
Durant.
Now, some will excuse LeBron's recent fall off on the defensive end as a byproduct of his resting on defense so that he can have more energy on offense. And we can debate the merits of that strategy. But resting on defense is not something Michael
No.
Jordan was
Jordan
ever
ain't gonna do
accused of
that.
doing. Heck, even as a 40-year-old, he was busting his tail on the defensive end. But what about the notion that LeBron's been the more versatile defender?
At
LeBron
age
supporters
40.
believe that he can guard positions 1 through 5.
It's a good thing
such as
Jordan
what
came
he
back and
guarded
played at
Derrick
40
Rose for
because
stretches in the 2011
I'm guilty
playoffs.
too. I always talk about,
While LeBron's
oh,
guarding
he's
the
40
opposing
years
team's
old. He's
point
still
guard or
playing at this
center
level. Well,
isn't
so did
something
Jordan.
That happens very often. In fact, during his career, LeBron has spent less than 5% of his total minutes guarding the opposing players 1 or 5. So the versatility
So he
argument
just
is
guard
highly
2, 3, and
exaggerated.
4s.
And look, when it comes to versatility,
Mainly.
Hometown Buffet may have a more versatile menu than Spago. That doesn't make it a better restaurant. LeBron's third weakness is that he's not a very good shooter. And this
Shooter.
is a
Oh, so he
pretty
on 3. I thought he was
significant
already
flaw
on
for
3.
someone claiming to be the GOAT. And yes, LeBron's career field goal percentage is 50%
Slightly higher.
compared to Jordan's 49.7%. But recall what I said about placing stats into proper context. To help us understand context when it comes to shooting, allow me to
'Cause he ain't
introduce
shooting no
DeAndre Jordan
in
and
range.
Tyson Chandler. We all know that DeAndre
Yeah, they at
and
the
Tyson
cup.
were great rebounders.
They
and
getting them
defenders.
buckets at the
But what
cup.
if I told you that they were also 2 of the greatest shooters of all time? That would be certifiably crazy. Yet if you look at all the shooting metrics, field goal percentage, effective field goal percentage, true shooting percentage, both of these guys rank near the top in NBA history. Of course, there's an obvious reason for that. As we all know, both DeAndre Jordan and Tyson Chandler take a lot of their shot attempts on dunks, layups, and putbacks, which are extremely high percentage shots. Well, guess what? So does LeBron James. In fact, every single year of his career, the shot that LeBron James has taken the most has been within 0 to 3 feet from the basket. In other words, dunks, layups.
I
and
knew that way he was
putbacks.
going with that.
More than 1 of every 3 of LeBron's shots has been within this point-blank range, which is aided by his playing in an era
Look
where
at
it's
him.
relatively
What?
easy to get to the rim, particularly when
coulda
compared to the
been went up
physical
with
era
that.
in which Jordan played. And just like every other player, LeBron is really effective from 0 to 3 feet, hitting over 73% of his shots. But how does LeBron fare from outside this range? According to basketballreference.com, LeBron's shooting percentage from outside 3 feet is 37.5%. It's even poorer in the playoffs where he shoots 35.9%.
Boo-boo.
And it gets even worse in close and late situations. In the last 2 minutes of games where the score is within 5 points, LeBron hits only 31.7% of his jumpers. Look, it doesn't take a rocket scientist to know that these numbers aren't very good, which is probably why in the 2013 finals, the Spurs' defensive strategy against the Heat was to
leave him open. I remember that.
And keep in mind, this
and
was
it worked.
Against LeBron in his prime.
It worked.
Can you imagine an opposing coach using a similar strategy against MJ? Now, LeBron actually credits the Spurs for forcing him to work on his jump shot. But it's not as if his results have gotten much better since then.
Exactly.
Here's LeBron's shooting percentage from outside 3 feet.
It pretty much stayed the same.
Years.
Give or take.
Yikes. Well, given this, he is consistent. For comparison,
man,
last year of Michael Jordan's career,
danger
as an
cooking,
player on the
preaching,
Wizards, Jordan shot close
spitting,
to 42% from outside 3 feet. While that's certainly not great, it means that even as a 40-year-old shell of his former self, Jordan was still a better shooter, a far better shooter than LeBron James.
Even when he was 40.
Unfortunately, Basketball Reference doesn't have advanced shooting metrics from Michael's Bulls days when he was a significantly more efficient scorer. But
Faked
few would
them
argue
out.
that Michael was anything but a lethal jump
Look at
shooter
him, behind the back,
red and black.
Pull up.
When it comes to shooting, all of us can recall practicing shots on the blacktop, counting down 3, 2, 1,
Kobe.
before launching a shot at the rim. Well,
Ain't nobody
if you were
said Jordan, we
pretending to be
said
LeBron
Kobe.
James, you'd brick almost 2/3 of the time. Actually, that's not entirely true. If you were playing against a countdown, it would be much, much worse. And that gets me to the last major weakness of LeBron's game.
He said
his
countdown.
performance, or more accurately, lack of performance in the clutch.
Clutch?
Remember
Thought
when
he was
people were praising
clutch.
LeBron for making a couple of buzzer beaters in the playoffs 2 years ago? They used these stats to claim that LeBron was better in the clutch than Jordan. But look at these numbers carefully. What stands out to you? How about this? People were using a sample size of less than 1 shot per season to make the case that LeBron was more clutch than Jordan. That would be the equivalent of polling just 100 people in the country to try to predict the winner
Oh
of the
no,
next presidential
I thought I saw something saying that
So let's
LeBron
use more
had
telling
more
stats,
clutch
shall we?
shots than
Here's
Jordan.
a
It was way
situation
more than
that's
what this guy's
obvious to
reporting.
determine
I don't know. I'm not
clutch
gonna.
is.
You've been cooking,
5
so I'm gonna
seconds to
take
go
his
in the
word
fourth
for it.
quarter or overtime, and your team needs a bucket to either win or tie the game. It answers the
Yeah,
age-old
Jordan.
question,
Jordan
why
all
do
day
you
long.
love taking the last
Jordan
shot
all
with
day
the game
long.
on the line? It turns out that
LeBron
in the
too
regular season
iffy.
and playoffs combined, LeBron has taken 94
Unless he
such
gonna
shots.
guarantee me he
That's a
gonna get to
pretty
that
good sample
cup.
size.
I believe he'll get
And
to
how
that
many
cup.
of those 94 shots has LeBron made? 19.
Ooh, that's like
percentage of
19%,
20%.
20%.
Let me repeat that. 20%. Guys, that's not bad in the clutch. That's atrocious.
Boo
Michael
boo.
Jordan in the same situation?
How many he got?
Shot roughly 50%. Yes, that's right. Jordan's performance under pressure was the
Good
same as
Lord
it
of
was
mercy.
throughout the rest of the game.
Watching
And that,
this,
my
you like
friends,
there's just
is
no
the
debate.
Definition of clutch. So there you go. When it comes to the eye test, our eyes tell us that one player, Michael Jordan, is great at everything and has practically no weaknesses. And the other player, LeBron James, while also having a ton of strengths, has several obvious flaws to his game. And when all is said and
But
done,
he's a
after analyzing
he's
the
a
5 key
self-proclaimed
factors of being
GOAT.
the GOAT, Jordan gets
One
4
category.
check marks to LeBron's 1.
Dang.
Making this GOAT debate, well, not much of a debate at all. Now, don't get me wrong.
Wow.
I'm not saying that LeBron James is a bad player. He's a phenomenal player. Personally, I have him on basketball's Mount Rushmore, along
okay.
with Jordan, Kareem,
Okay.
Will Chamberlain, and Bill Russell.
Okay.
He's just not Michael Jordan.
What is he, top 3
Just
since
to
you got him as a
underscore
third
how
picture?
good MJ was,
I got him at
ignore
2.
LeBron and Jordan for a minute and focus on the other 3 players highlighted here: Kareem, Wilt, and Bill Russell. Most
you
would
got?
agree that these are the 3 greatest centers in NBA history.
Centers.
And each of them has a strong case to justify his standing among basketball royalty. Wilt is an all-time great because he was an offensive force of nature, and he holds a ton of NBA records. Russell is in the conversation because he was a dominant defender and a perennial champion. Kareem also led his team to numerous titles, and in terms of individual awards and accolades, was the most decorated of the three. Not to mention, he had the NBA's most unguardable shot.
Ooh, that skyhook.
Now imagine a center that had all the best qualities from these three titans. A player like that would be the basketball equivalent of Thanos. Now add to that player the highest level of intangible attributes.
Don't tell me he finna say
such as a
Jordan
tireless
Thanos.
work ethic, unmatched killer instinct, and an ability to deliver in the clutch. And now you'd essentially be looking at Thanos with all of the Infinity Stones. And no one would question whether this player was the greatest of all time.
Right.
But the truth is, we don't have to imagine such a player. That player already existed. He just happened to be a shooting guard, not a center. When you think about it, Michael Jordan is the real-life version of an overpowered video game character. He had
Shout out
all
to
the qualities
2K.
of a superstar athlete, and he had it in spades.
Wow.
He's basically Babe Ruth, if Babe Ruth played defense like Willie Mays.
This
And
was
that's
deep.
why, even in comparison
Deep
to the
video.
other all-time
I appreciate
greats,
y'all for telling me
he's
about this.
truly in a class
Deep
of
video.
his own.
Love it.
Simply put, he's the GOAT.
Love it. Yeah, that video was dope. Loved it. He broke down everything. He was cooking, preaching, spitting, whatever you want to call it. He broke down everything. I loved it. Last thing I wanted to touch on, I had more people asking me in the comments how being my age and old school, how was it that I was able to jump from Jordan to LeBron? The good thing is that I'm back. Okay, I'm back. Although the comments, the way the comments read, people think I'm still whatever. But I do view Braun as number 2, but I'm back. I think what happened was 2 people put it in the comments, recency bias. I really, really think that's what it is. I just got caught up in the moment because Jordan's been gone for almost 30 years. I think like 26 seasons. He's been gone. So, I don't know. I just got caught up with the smoke and mirrors of, the antics of LeBron and not 3, not 4, not 5. And it didn't pan out. So, and you know how it is, your bragging rights, once you stick to somebody, you just got to keep trying to ride with them because people going to be like, oh, you hopping off. So, I don't know. I'm babbling now. I'm making excuses now, whatever. But that's all I got. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe to the channel if you're new. And as always, stay safe. On to the next one. Peace.